It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, November the 12th. AC/DC's Back in Black, 43 years old and still kicks my ass. Yes, It does. And if you don't agree, then by God, next time we play it, put on headphones and turn them up way too loud and just give in to the hearing loss and find your way out of whatever hole you put yourself into. Look, I love something in the morning that puts me in a good mood. And right now, let's get on with it. How about your top 5 at 6? This is going to put you in a great mood, or maybe not. Or
yeah.
I don't know. You know what? Let's just
a mix.
Let's just take life on life's terms. It's a mix. Check this out. A whole bunch of us hate traffic. We talk about traffic all the time. Zep gives traffic updates regularly. It's a big part of our lives. How many of us have ever left a concert or a sporting event early just to beat the traffic? About 80% of us have, apparently so. A once-in-a-lifetime event, a big playoff game, your favorite artist. Will you leave to beat traffic? And the answer is, yeah, once you're after a certain age, what the hell are you waiting around for? Get out of there. I have no qualms about ditching something early to beat the traffic. But then again, I'm pushing 60. When I was 20, I'd fight you over it. But now, what are you kidding about? If I even get off the couch to go, it's a miracle.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Then you hit the age where you don't even bother going.
Yeah.
I remember it was, I didn't get into traffic after an event because I was partying after an event. You were off to the bars, the after party. You didn't get out on the roads and try and go home.
Sure.
You just kept the party going. So, and then you start whittling it down until you're then you're having that conversation. Well, what time do you think we need to leave to beat all the traffic? I'm going to go for the first 3 songs. You know how many concerts I've done, and I've listened to the first 3 songs and split? I'm terrible.
Well,
if I had to pay for the tickets, it might have been different.
You get to an age where you're like, please front load that set list. Please. Just come out and hit us with some uppercuts right away so I can get the hell out of here.
And hope your friends the next day don't say something like, oh my God, the encore, they did that one tune they haven't done ever before.
Yeah.
Or Prince came out on stage and did a guitar duo. I did that once at Lenny Kravitz show. I was there for about half the show, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I don't even think I went home. I think I just went to a bar and drank, and people came flooding into the bar later that night and said, oh my God, can you believe Prince jumped on stage with them? And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
And then what you said from that day, I was there.
Oh yeah, I did. I've lied about it many times.
Yeah, no details given. I was at that concert.
Oh yeah.
Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. Okay, I had my wisdom teeth pulled and I had a bicep tendon surgical procedure a few years ago. That's the 2 times I've had surgery, if you will, in my life. And I thought both of them were just about going to do me in. So it is with nothing but phenomenal admiration and awe that I tell you that a local dude named Mike Lovin is leaving the Mayo Clinic soon after having a triple organ transplant.
Yeah.
New kidney, new heart, new set of lungs. Holy smokes. I kid you not. They took out 4 wisdom teeth, and I thought, that's it, do me in. That's all. There's no way I can bounce back from this. I can't even begin to get my head around this. This poor guy had 3 open heart surgeries before the age of 16, so he's been dealing with a lot of health issues his whole life. But now a triple organ transplant. The Mayo Clinic has only done 15 ever, 12 at the Rochester location. And apparently all went well with this guy, Mike Lovin. It's just a miracle to me. He says he can't wait to get home to see his girls, and I'm like, yeah, you say that now.
Right. Well, they'll be nice to him. There'll be a honeymoon period there. We have Mike. Did you say Mick Lovin? No, it's just Mike Lovin. His wife, and I believe Ben Henry over at KSTP.
I think I'm still trying to grasp that. Like everyone I tell, all the doctors and RNs that don't know what I went through, their jaw drops and they can't believe it.
Mike now has a new kidney, heart, and lungs, all from the same donor.
We were very blessed that one person gave this gift to him.
I miss my girls. Can't wait to get home to see my girls.
There you go.
I hope the guy that gave those organs read the fine print. No, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I can just picture the cutaway to the guy in the alley going, "Wait a minute, hold on, oops, that was a mistake."
I just recently renewed my driver's license, and I almost didn't put organ donor on there. And the reason I didn't almost do that for the first time was because I thought, I don't want someone to get my organs. I think they can do better. Go on to the next person in line. Take somebody else's organs. I don't want them here. Mr. Levin goes through all of that, and he's like, I'm not feeling real great today. Yeah, you have Zepp's lungs, for crying out loud. Are you kidding me?
You don't want to bring up some false hope to somebody. We got a guy didn't make it in a car accident, and we vote. Oh my God, is that a liver? That's not a liver. Surely that's not a human liver. Wow.
All the best to him and his family, of course.
No kidding. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson pees in bottles. There, I said it.
All right.
He gave an interview where he said, when I'm working on set, I just pee in bottles. Saves a lot of time. There was a story about his upcoming film, Red One, that said he was late to the set so often that it drove the budget of a film way over the top, which I'm just thinking to myself, well, yeah, he's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's no clocks in his life. It's his time, right? He lives on rock time. But he did mention the fact that, I just, when I'm on set to save time, someone hands me a bottle and I pee in it, which add him to the list alongside Alex Van Halen, who while on the job just pee in a bottle. Alex, famously for years on stage, in between songs, just letting it loose into a big wide mouth bottle.
Have you, Steve Gorman, ever on stage peed in a bottle?
No, I've walked just off stage and peed into something, but I didn't do it sitting at the kit. I mean, come on. It's just, and it was really more just because it's hard to pee sitting down, like on a drum throne. You know what I mean? It was just my body was like, no. But I've run off stage. I've looked at my singer and said, "Hey, tell a story," and I'm just get up and run off to the side of the stage because I have like lower back pain. I've been holding it back for so long.
Road trips when we were kids, Dad would give us the empty milk jug. Of course, we were in the back of the pickup back then, very unsafe. They'd throw a mattress down, and we had a topper on the pickup, and that was for the long multi-day road trips. And we got the milk jug back there, and you boys know what to do.
Yeah. No, we cannot pull over on the side of the road for a minute and 20 seconds. Do not even ask. Number 2 on your top 5 and 6, the NFL, that would be the National Football League to you and me, says next year they're looking for 8 overseas games, 8 international games. That would be the most ever. Madrid, Spain, at least another one in Germany, a few in London. They're going to go back to Brazil. Gee, what could go wrong? I don't know. You could blow out a quarterback's knee on a crappy field. Mexico City hasn't had a game in a few years. They're going back there. And now Goodell says we're looking for another game, potentially in the United Kingdom area, possibly Ireland. Something I kind of do too. I'm like, I don't want to see these games over. Oh, Ireland? Oh, I'll go there. Oh, that'd be great. They love a good violent tussle in Ireland. There'd be no shortage of people eating that up, man, like pig slop.
I might be embarrassed that they have all those pads on and helmets. I always feel like when our football teams go over there, they're like, what's with all the safety gear, America?
Well, they are until they walk in the stadium and see the size of football players. A little different than looking at your rugby boys and your soccer guys and going, yeah, they're tough. Yeah, they are tough, but they ain't that big. And they're not that fast. I will argue this till the day is long. The NFL, the average NFL athlete makes no sense. Just get out of his way. He's going to hurt you. Hey, it's a nice Tuesday morning in the Twin Cities metropolitan area, and with that, we'd like to say good morning to everybody over in Wayzata who's just getting their day started.
Oh yeah,
come on, beautiful. What are you kidding?
Oh yeah,
sunrise over the lake right there.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I
like it
hang
over
out
there, man.
I do. I hang out over there so many times. I don't even know where I hang out, but I'm always in Wayzata.
Rosemary's always like, why don't we just go there? And I'm like, because I get up at god-awful time and have to drive to work. She's like, well, there's no traffic then. I'm like, okay, so are you going to drive me every morning? I mean, you got to think about these things. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. I've never even heard of this. Today is National Happy Hour Day. What the hell?
How is it just once a year?
Man, I did not
Once
know.
a week at least, right?
This is something that got started. Happy Hour started apparently in the U.S. Navy in 1914.
Oh, really?
That's awesome.
We were just out there on some old rusty scuppers, just tooling around, and Happy Hours got their starts during the early days of the Mexican-American War. During the occupation of Veracruz Harbor, American sailors on the USS Arkansas were the subject of desperate reporters looking to fill out mundane stories, and they were trying to come up with something, and suddenly somebody was like, oh, yeah, well, we do a happy hour thing. I mean, this story just fell into a writer's lap. They were looking for an angle, and they came up with happy hour on the ship. Which is just kind of perfect, isn't it? Like, I don't know. You guys want to tell me about something you do that's fun? And some drunk dude was like, "Oh, we call it a happy hour," and someone's like, "That's it. That's a story right there." It was in the Washington Times before you knew it. It was big. And so anyway, all I know is that all these years later, hey, thanks, drunk Navy dude, because happy hour is pretty great.
Right.
Get out there and take advantage.
Yeah, and try and keep it to an hour. After that, it gets weird. Pretty soon, you're making out with a coworker in the parking lot. It's 10 p.m. You gotta at a happy hour. They can get away from you.
Yeah, happy's easy. The hour is the hard part.
Yeah, I know it is.
That's
right?
Absolutely the hard part. Nothing better in life than a good massage, unless, of course, there's a sting at the end of it. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. That was an English band called Led Zeppelin. They're from London. You should check them out sometime. Really good stuff. Really good rock band.
How do you spell that?
It's L-E-D, not L-E-A-D.
That didn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. It's like they led a horse to water, and then they made him look up and see a blimp, a Zeppelin. I don't know. I'm not sure what they were trying to go with. Another huge band from down under, AC/DC. A quick post hit Facebook this morning and was immediately taken down, and it said, "Oh, U.S. Bank Stadium in April, AC/DC."
We don't know anything about that for sure, and if we did know things about that, we'd keep it under wraps. We want to get all the tickets we can.
They pulled it down.
Yeah.
But apparently somebody leaked maybe some U.S. dates, and then maybe not. Someone's getting fired. That's all I know.
I feel like you two are messing with us. What do you know? What's going on over there?
I have no idea. I just saw it on Twitter. I have no idea. If I just, said something I shouldn't have, hey, go figure. But
I'm investigating and I'll report back.
But I will say this.
We got the Q team on it.
Hey, happy birthday, Neil Young. How about that for a segue? One thing that I'm a big fan of, and I learned this a long time ago when I fancied myself a bit of an athlete, is a good old-fashioned sports massage. I've been getting massages for years, and I mean an actual massage where somebody comes in and they've got a certificate and they tell you about how your musculature works, and you go through this. Now, I know when you hear about massage parlors, most of us immediately think of, like the kind of place that an NFL owner might walk into, a seedy Bob Kraft goes in and has himself a happy ending massage. There are plenty of those as well. Lakeland, Florida, because who more than Florida has massage parlors of that sort? In Lakeland, Florida, there was a sting operation at a massage parlor where there were thought to be sex acts happening under, on, and next to the table, if you know what I'm saying. An operation called Operation Skin So Soft.
Yes.
The Polk County Sheriff's Office, they sent undercover detectives into several massage parlors in areas throughout Polk County, and they came up with 21 arrests. 21 arrests. 20 were massage therapists. One arrest was a woman who was interfering with deputies while they were arresting somebody else. These are all women. These are all women from Asia. They're on work visas, and they're, as the cops are saying, like, I don't think that when these people were given work visas, this was the sort of work they were that we had in mind to give them a work visa. And as one of the undercover detectives discovered, they were not shy about trying to get done what they were there to get done. Check this out.
The undercover would say, no, just a massage. So on 3 different occasions, she continued to try to come back and upcharge him to engage in sex. She stood in front of the door so he couldn't leave, and then she tried to hold him down. This is a big undercover detective, and she might have been 5 foot tall. She wasn't as big as a popcorn fart, and she was trying to hold this man down. A word to the wise. If you don't want to get arrested and have your picture up here on a skin so soft bulletin board. Don't do it. Next time, it can be the customers.
Oh, man, I have terribly dry skin. We have a new term for a unit of measurement in here, I believe.
Yeah, oh, sure.
And she might have been 5 foot tall. She wasn't as big as a popcorn fart.
A popcorn fart.
Popcorn
Can't those
fart.
get pretty big?
That's that weird smell in movie theaters. I just realized there's always that mild lingering. What do I smell something or am I imagining it? No, it's popcorn fart.
Butter. Yeah.
Now this one over here. Now she's more the size of that's like a bag of Raisinets fart right over there, and then and over here you got the nachos with that cheese sauce. She's about as big as a nacho fart. Man, that's a strong one. Not as big as a popcorn fart.
Yeah, but a forceful woman. Small as a popcorn fart, but she can hold a big, large detective down. I insist. I'm sure the detective was really fighting. No, I know the police officers take this stuff very seriously when they go in on these stings and whatever. But have you ever received a massage? Maybe you've just been out on the road and like, I'm going to duck into this place and get a quick massage and thought, hey, I'm not paying for this. I didn't look for a place like this, but I feel like it's heading that direction. Like there might be a happy ending here?
You know what? I never have.
No,
never even once. And I'd tell you if it had, but no, I guess I'm going to more reputable looking locations. Maybe I don't know. But the good thing about being on tour is you just call the promoter and they send somebody over, and you feel like you're like, oh man, this is what it feels like to be a tech bro, and you just get an actual massage person to come to you. That's the good thing about being on tour. Same with golf. Then I get home and then I don't have anybody to call, so I never do anything fun.
What kind of tour manager is that? That's not the stories we've heard over the years. Well, no, I went into one not long ago in Minnesota, and I thought it might be headed down that direction. But, I've got my mind works like that. But it was, first of all, do you go on natural? No one leaves their underwear on for a massage, not even the prudes I know.
Yep.
You get naked, they throw the blanket over top of you. She just came in and whipped the entire blanket off of me. I mean, it whipped it in the corner. I'm like, oh, all right, we're just going to stay exposed for this whole thing, right, front and back. I know, crawled up on the table, and did the straddle move, and I'm like, what is this? Hey, don't stop now. But it didn't end like that, but it's... it was going through my mind a little bit. I got to be honest with you.
Were you face down or face up?
Both.
Well.
Oh.
Yeah. Both.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
but just doing her thing, so she got an excellent massage, by the way.
It was just it was just a massage. She didn't shake hands with the bishop or anything.
No, she did not wax the dolphin, as they say.
Totally. All right. Well, then, so maybe that's
just her.
Why she wasn't in Florida.
Yeah, just her technique, I guess. But I did go back immediately the next week. But no, it's a fine massage place. But I just wonder, because you hear about these places are out there, but it's a particular kind of place. You got to look for it, right? A friend's got to tell you, hey, there's this place over here. I'm just wondering how you find these places so that I can steer people away from them, of course.
Yeah, well, there's that one place on the south side called Hash Pipe Massage. I think that's just a dead giveaway.
Right.
That's
okay.
A dead giveaway. Yeah. Hey, why don't we just move on? Let's look back. I'll tell you what happened on this day in 1969. Your American League Most Valuable Player was named Harmon Killebrew.
Yeah.
What a year. Only one time did Harmon come up with an MVP campaign, but that was the year. 49 home runs led the AL. RBIs led both leagues with 140. On-base percentage, 427.
Damn.
For the season. Harmon, buddy, relax. Led the American League with 145 walks, 20 of which were intentional. Good God, my man was swinging a big stick of hickory like no one's business that year.
Yeah, it was the killer.
Man, 1995 on this day, Dan Marino threw for 333 yards in a loss to the Patriots, which made him, at the end of the game, he had the most passing yards of anybody in NFL history. He went beyond 47,003 yards. The record holder who he took the crown from, Francis Tarkenton, who had held the record since 1978. Go figure. Fran. And then 2 weeks later, Marino broke Tarkenton's mark for career touchdown passes with 346.
I mean, that is remarkable. Because he was known as such a scrambler, but those Bud Grant teams, I know he played for the Giants for a cup of coffee or something, but those Vikings teams were run first. I mean, it was run the ball 50 times a game and sling it here and there.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, November the 12th. Happy Hour Day, as it's known across America. Go figure. Every day's happy hour if you do it right, but today's especially happy hour. At 7:50 today, we're going to be giving away some concert tickets. Don Felder tickets.
Hey.
A little riff to Hotel California? Yeah, he wrote that. Don Felder tickets. He's playing at the Treasure Island Event Center in January. We got tickets in less than an hour at about 7:50. But right now, we have to put a halt to all the proceedings because we've actually been enjoying each other's company and having fun. But that ends now. Now it's time for Unfun Facts.
Oh, I was just trying to get my facts straight. Unfun.
Unfun.
Not fun.
Not fun, not fun.
It's entirely unfun.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Unfun
Facts. Let's begin, shall we? Shall we?
Oh, I'll begin right now. The men of the ship Essex. Now, this is a true event that inspired the story Moby Dick. The Essex avoided islands after being shipwrecked. The men, I should say, avoided certain islands after being shipwrecked because they were terrified of cannibals. They didn't want to go onto the wrong remote island and encounter cannibalism. But ironically, because of that, they ran out of food and, well, they were forced to eat each other for survival.
Oh, well.
The only thing worse than avoiding cannibals is becoming one. I guess is the lesson or something. I'm not sure what that means.
Can we put that on a T-shirt for the fair?
That's a good one. Sure.
I like that one.
Men who are hanged. Back in the day, you run afoul of the law. They give you the death penalty. Sometimes they put a noose around your neck and just drop out that floor. Men who are hanged often would get a death erection.
Hello.
Known as rigor or erectus.
I love that Monty Python skit. Yeah.
Or new band name. Hold on.
Rigor erectus, yes.
So it's men who are hung.
That's
also.
exactly it. That's right. Hanged and hung.
Yeah.
You can use both in a sentence, and I believe we just did. That's a wild one. Good Lord. How about this? Since 2007, on the Salish Sea, which is it's off the coast of British Columbia, okay, out west, the Salish Sea. At least 20 detached human feet have been found on the coastline, washed ashore.
Oh, wow. Jeez. 35W, you find shoes, but out on the coast,
detached human feet. What's going on in British Columbia?
I don't know. We did a story on this some years ago, too. A lot of feet were washing up on the, just further down the coast there on Washington and Oregon's coast. And I don't know if they ever got to the bottom of it, but yeah, just feet washing up. You lose a shoe on 35W, you lose your foot out in the ocean, I guess.
Yeah, well, that kind of does explain. I mean, the ocean's, look at all those sharks and stuff. Come on. I mean,
killer whales.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, man. More than 7,000 people die annually due to doctors' bad handwriting. By the way, my father-in-law had a lot of heart issues, and when he was mid-90s, so this is a gentleman in his mid-70s with a history of heart issues, had a complication, went to the hospital, came home, got some medicine, and was given one of his prescriptions was filled with a decimal point over 1. So he got 10 times what his doctor prescribed because the doctor's handwriting was so legible. And we figured there was a problem when this mid-70s gentleman who had a hard time walking, when we pulled up to his house and he was on the roof cleaning the gutters.
No.
I'm not kidding. I mean, high as a kite. I'm like, Mike? He's like, hey, come on up here, Steve. Give me it was like someone gave him meth.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It was horrifying and hilarious at the same time.
The wife approved, I guess. Well, some of this is on the docs, of course, but when in doubt, give them a call.
Yeah.
Double check that before you get, well, I think this is what it says. Let's not go with I think.
Oof. How about this? There is a spider. Speaking of hung men being hanged, there is a spider that exists. And before its bite kills you, which it can kill you, it will give you a 3-hour-long erection.
Well, honey, the clock's running.
Yeah, only got 3 hours.
I'm telling you, man, no kidding.
And let's get to it.
I mean, nothing beats coming and going at the same time, as they say. Hippopotamus. Hippopotami? Hippopotamuses? Hippos.
Yeah.
Hippos kill 3,000 human beings every year.
What?
Yeah, they're vicious.
3,000. They are absolutely monster. Don't give me that Mood Dang. Mood Dang will kill you if you give him half a chance.
Yeah, they're hungry.
Yeah, they are. They are hungry and they are angry, and you would be too if you look like that.
Maybe avoid the hippos, Are there hippos in the water? Okay, well, not going in today.
Nothing freaks me out more than every time you see that video of those guys on the boat in the swamp on the little lake in Africa, and they're trying to outrun the hippo, and it's not working. And you're like, you're not supposed to swim that fast, fella. There's something very wrong with that. Over 80% of sexually active adults will catch an STD at some point. And most will never know because many STDs show no symptoms.
Ignorance is bliss.
It sure is.
Blisters. I meant ignorance is blisters.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got that phone call. I remember that. Hey, got a second? Right away. Like, do I have a second? I'm 23. This is clearly not a good call.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a fun phone call at all.
I hope she's breaking up with me.
Yeah, really.
But no.
1 in 3 men do not wash their hands after using the bathroom.
I don't like this.
You don't like this?
Because there's 3 of you, and so the odds are...
Oh, boy, that's a good point.
Well, you know what?
Studio.
I'm pretty good at not pissing on my hands.
Yeah.
Got the hang of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do keep a fairly tidy front office. I mean, I wash. I get soap down there on a regular basis, and then I try not to pee on myself. But, the truth is, I have walked out of many a bathroom without washing my hands, but never if there's other people. The peer pressure always gets to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry, and I'm like, I just got to get back, but then someone walks in, you're like,
I'll wash before and after.
Wow, yeah, exactly.
Besides, I'm guessing my balls are cleaner than your keyboard.
Well, we're definitely not having fun now. We have
only one way to find out, I guess.
It's very true. The human body, speaking of unfun, can be drained of blood in 8.6 seconds as long as you have adequate vacuuming systems. I don't know. I guess that's
the dry vac.
I mean, I guess that's helpful for if you're going to be like if you're doing an autopsy or embalming or I don't know who needs to drain all the blood in 8.6 seconds, but that's not much time. There's a lot of blood in that body.
Right, exactly. We had one of our unfun facts not that long ago. What about 50 serial killers just walking around out there, according to the FBI?
Oh yeah. Make no mistake about it. Here's an unfun fact. There's a place in Utah called Nutty Putty Cave.
What'd you call me?
Nutty Putty Cave. And in 2009, a 26-year-old man named John Edward Jones went down into Nutty Putty Cave, and he got stuck. He climbed into, I guess he was doing the old spelunking type of vibe.
Yeah.
He went into a little narrow area, and he got stuck. And his body is still there because they've never been able to remove him. Since 2009. I guess now it's more like a skeleton. But
that's nutty.
That's Nutty Putty Tomb.
Nutty Buddy. Man, that's... Ooh, baby. And then how about this? Human brains, when they dry out, they smell like cat pee. That really stinky ammonia smell.
Oh.
And by the way, this is interesting to me. I had a buddy who was in the hospital probably 10 years ago, older fella, and he had something going on with his kidneys, and he got very disoriented, and they said he had there was a cloudy brain. He wasn't quite with it, and it was an ammonia smell. You get this ammonia thing on your brain.
Oh, man.
I'm not really connecting the dots, but that's what was going on. And then they drained him off, and they got it all taken care of. And the next day he was totally fine. Had no recollection of us coming to see him the day before.
Oh, weird.
It was really interesting. Yeah.
You don't want dry brain. You don't want wet brain. Just good old medium moist brain.
I'm just whatever's going on with my brain right now. I'm totally cool to leave it as is. Don't adjust the humidity level at all. Please. Right. There's your unfun facts for the day. Here, you know who's having fun today? Everybody out in Excelsior.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what are you kidding? Good morning, Excelsior. Another great community right there on the water. On the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous, man.
Thinking about
it's just a great place to be.
the crown jewel of Minnesota's little vacation land. You ever see that sign out there? I think it's out in the park. I just remembered that. But thinking about the west side, not part of Westopolis, however. Further west.
Got to get past Westopolis.
They're bummed about that.
No. You got to go. You go past Westopolis, and then you get into a place that doesn't sound like it was named by a robot. You know what? Oftentimes we like to offer as a service to our listeners an awful lot of life hacks. We do try to make your lives a little easier. Today we're going to do something a little differently. We're going to offer you some ethically challenged life hacks. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning. Man, the crowd noise on Budokan, Cheap Trick, still. Those kids were having a blast at that show. When Cheap Trick at Budokan came out, man, if you weren't into that record, you just weren't cool. I mean, I'm just remembering going back at school. It was like overnight, everybody loved Cheap Trick.
And who knew where Budokan was until that album?
Yeah,
That's
right.
Exactly right.
Who knew even how to pronounce it? Budokan or whatever. But yeah, I wonder how many quarters I shoved into the old jukebox at the Capricorn in downtown Woolsey. I walked in, it was always 50 cents. My Sharona, I want you to want me. Bing, bang, boom. The party was started. Fire up the pinball machine. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good old days. Good old days at the family hub is where I would rock out to some Cheap Trick. Had that on the old jukebox. And, used to always, you'd play video games. And there was I knew a kid who played Pac-Man, and he had a pattern that worked on every board. He just did the exact same thing every board, and he'd sit there and play Pac-Man for like an hour, and we'd be like, dude, what's the point? And he's like, nah, man, it's just great. I'm getting away with murder here. And I'm like, yeah, but you're just, but then nothing happens. Like you're missing the point.
Yeah. Something's happening. It's called life. It's right out those doors.
Yeah. Matt Durbin, always just standing there. Oh, yeah, I got 9 billion points. We're like, yeah, you did the same thing every board. And he'd be like, yeah, but look here, right when this pink one's about to get you, then you do the fake move. You go whoop up and then right back down and to the left. And you'd be like, yeah, I know you did that last board. Yeah.
Look at all the girls not standing around you right now, Durbin.
Yeah. All the girls not standing around you right now. He had 2 nicknames, neither one of which make any sense in hindsight. Clancy and Sanchez. No idea. His name was Matt. His last name was Durbin. His parents were from England, and his nicknames were Clancy and Sanchez. No idea. Right. Never even thought about it till right now. These things happen. But, he figured out a way. He gamed the system. He had a hack for Pac-Man, so a hack pack, if you will. Let's talk about some life hacks because, these are good little tips for people to know. But these are what I call ethically challenged life hacks. Now, I can't promise every one of these is true, but I'm reading people are suggesting all of these are true. Check this one out. First things first. If you have to bury a body, so you already like this one, do it vertically if possible. Bury it vertically.
All right.
Satellites look for 6-foot long holes. So they look for those obvious holes in the ground, and they mark them for later investigation. But even more importantly, if you're going to bury a body, things happen. We went awry. All I know is we're playing, 3-card Monty, and the next thing I know, I got a dead body on my hands. Bury the body under a dead dog. Bury the body on more shallow. Put a dead dog because the sniffer dogs will mark the spot. Yeah. They'll come up. They'll start digging. They'll find the dead dog and mark it a false positive and move on.
They'll stop. That's brilliant.
Is it wrong that as we're talking about a dead body, I was like, you know what, whatever. But when you mentioned dead dog, I'm like, I'm not going to kill a dog.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
Poor dog. I'll kill a human, but a dog, I guess I'll just go with the vertical. I didn't know
the dog didn't break my heart or try to rip me off in cards.
No.
Yeah. A vertical hole. So
some of these are not nearly as dark. Test drive a pickup truck next time you want to help a friend move a couch.
Okay.
Really? Really? Yeah. Have you been to a dealership where they're like, just toss you the keys and bring her back in an hour or so?
No,
they always seem to jump in the shotgun there with me. Maybe I just don't look trustworthy.
Back in the day, though, I guess that's one of those probably a little longer ago. Here's one I've never seen before, never thought about it. Don't pay for mail. If you want to send someone a letter, now again, not that we send that much mail, address a letter to yourself. And then for the return address, put where you want it to go. But don't put a stamp stamp on it. They'll send it back to the sender. They return to sender. Is that true? Do they still do that?
I don't know.
Here's some good old standards. Buy clothes at Goodwill and then sell them at Plato's Closet. There you go.
That's not bad. That's not bad right there.
No, that actually totally checks out. That's good at any time. I love this one. My buddy went to Lollapalooza last year. You know, every summer in Chicago, they still have it's not a touring festival, but it's a huge festival. Buddy went to Lollapalooza and was selling, in quotes, brownies for $10 each. And he was, of course, implying these were THC-laden brownies.
They're not?
Just regular brownies.
Just brownies. Just brownies.
All right.
Yeah.
I wonder how many...
Buyer beware, man.
Yeah, I wonder how many people after the show are like, I was so high of that brownie.
Guarantee it.
Oh, man.
Absolutely guarantee it.
I'm still in the clouds, man.
We had a bus driver for years, a great guy named David, and he had a tremendous stutter. And once, coincidentally, in Chicago, on a day off, he was cleaning the tour bus, as drivers do, and there was a plate of, it wasn't brownies, it was chocolate chip cookies. And he saw them as he was cleaning, and he ate one, and then he ate another one. And then he was starting on his third, and he went, oh, my God, what's happening? And these were cookies that someone gave us. A friend of someone we knew gave them and said, hey, like half a cookie each tops. These are really strong. My man had 2.5 of these cookies. And he called our tour manager in the middle of the afternoon. Again, it was a night off. And he said, I need some help. Tour manager runs to the bus where it's parked, walks on, and he's sitting there stoned to the nines and no stutter, speaking without a stutter for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
True story. 24 hours later, he was still stoned, and we had to call in an auxiliary emergency bus driver to take us up to Milwaukee. Yeah.
But he wasn't stuttering.
He wasn't stuttering. Watch out. Watch out for those brownies and cookies in Chicago. That's the lesson I learned.
Oh, I left a chocolate bar that I retrieved in Colorado and illegally took over state lines. Just a minute right now. But anyway, so I take it back home, and the person I'm cohabitating with at the time, I eat a little bit of it and stick it in the refrigerator door. But I didn't mention to them that I had done that.
Sure.
Yeah, and then later that evening, she says to me, I think I'm having a stroke. My heart's beating really fast. And as she's telling me this, she's laughing. I'm like, really? And I don't know. I've never been around anyone that's had a stroke. And so I thought maybe that was one of the symptoms, that you just got the giggles. Yeah, and as we were driving her to the hospital, I went, hey, wait a minute. You didn't have any chocolate. Yeah, that was the issue. Yeah. She got into my chocolate bar.
Okay, here's a good one. And this may very well be still true. At AMC theaters, if you get that large soda, large pop, large Coke, it's like a half gallon.
Oh, yeah.
But the large does say free refills. And I look at that and I'm always like, who's getting a refill? But if you find one of those cups, like, say, by the trash can, if the trash can's full, if somebody sets one down, you can take it back to just take one back to the counter and say, yeah, I'm here for the refill. And per health regulations, they give you a Coke in a new cup. They don't use the same cup. They'll throw that one away and grab a new one. So, I mean, that's, hey, that's a decent life hack.
That's a good one.
How about this? When you call a company and you want to talk to customer service, you see this, I can't even say it. Hit number 2 for Spanish. It'll say, if you want Spanish, press 2. Press 2. The department's probably smaller. There's less demand. And all the reps usually speak English as well.
Oh, I hadn't
get right through.
How about that? Right. That's a good one. I like that one.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Hey, if you're meeting somebody for a fairly sketchy transaction, like you just find, I mean, it could be any number of things, but you're going to meet somebody in public and you're going to do something that may be a little dicey. You set the meeting location, right? But you get to an alternate location very close by, and right before you're supposed to meet them, you call in and change the location of the meet. That helps avoid the police sting that this guy may have set up. When someone says, hey, you're browsing the Reddit page, and someone's like, yeah, I got a laptop. It's $200. And you're like, yeah, I'll buy it off of you. And you're not really sure. You're thinking it's a little sketchy. Change locations right before the meeting. Keeps that person's friends from robbing you. Keeps the police from a sting.
Okay.
It's very gangster.
Yeah, it is. I like this one. Someone wrote in, my dad kept an orange vest and an orange flag in our car specifically for sporting events. After the game, you're in the parking lot full of angry drunk drivers. My brother or I would jump out, stop traffic so he could break into the line. in the orange vest, orange flag. You just stop. Everyone's like, oh, okay. And then you wave them in, and then the kids just jump back in the car.
Yeah, act like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, like I've said for years, I just want to have a traffic cone in my car at all times. Right. Because there's just a million times when you could use that. You could take advantage of something with a traffic cone.
I'm thinking of all the traffic cones I've run over.
Never quite pulled the trigger on that one, but it's still in my mind. I still think that's kind of the way to go. How about this one? If you're a couple, say you're already married, if you're going to go out to dinner and you're not someplace where anyone knows you, propose at the table. Like, guy, do the fake proposal. She says yes. You'll get, at the very least, they'll give you a free dessert. Might even comp your meal.
Nice.
This is a wonderful hack if you live in, say, New York or Boston.
Yeah, sure.
But in the Midwest, do you think someone's going to draw that kind of attention to themselves for a free dessert? Not on your life.
That's true. Very good point.
Just to be polite, they'll pay double for it. They'll buy the dessert. And no one's drawing that kind of attention to themselves. That requires like eye contact and all sorts of uncomfortable things.
My brother very famously tried to get the free dessert for it being his birthday, and the waiter looked right at me and goes, all I got to see is an ID, and he just looked him right in the eye and goes, I don't have one. A full-on adult man in his 30s. I don't have one. Unbelievable. So apparently this is one I've seen this for several times. If you're booking a hotel room, put down Dr. Gorman. Just use DR period. Yeah. Hotels generally will put you far away from the elevator because the pretentious doctors whining about things. Apparently that's a thing. That's an assumption that doctors are going to be a little more persnickety about little things like I was close to the elevator and I heard people coming and going all night.
Oh, all right.
They'll give you a better room in a corner room far away. I've never tried it, but I've heard that several times.
All right. Well, it would be my luck. I'd be in the lobby signing in as Dr. Zepp when someone has a heart attack right there. They're like, oh, we've got a doctor here. Dr. Zepp, go to Brill.
I'm a doctor of sociology.
Yeah.
Or worse, they'll have a stroke. You won't have any idea what to do.
Hey, have you noticed that if you go to a Chick-fil-A drive-thru now, they have the people that come out. Sometimes they take your order. There's a person standing there because the lines are so long. Yeah. And you go up and you make your order and they do the charge. Apparently, though, Chick-fil-A still has a policy. It used to work probably a lot easier when you'd pull up to the window. But apparently, if somebody forgets their wallet or their debit card or whatever, you have to give them their food anyway.
Yeah, don't slow it down.
If you can look someone in the eye and go, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I ordered. I don't have my wallet. I can't believe this. Yeah. They're like, okay, we'll just bring it next time. They'll just hand you your meal.
Really?
Yeah.
And you drive away.
That's that. Hey, they're closed on Sunday. They're good. They're good people. They're good God-fearing, church-going people.
In a perfect world, I'd like to think they'd look at you and go, were you listening to the KQ Morning Show this morning? Are you hacking me right now?
I tell you what, man, that information's coming to me a little late in life. I wish I'd had that, say, right. I don't know, any other time other than right now.
When I was starving and I had 6 cents in my pocket.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a pretty good one. Finally, if you want to sound sick when you're calling into work, lie on your back with your head hanging over the edge of your bed. Lie on your back with your head hanging over the bed. It makes you sound congested. There you have it.
I hear it. Yep.
Yeah, see? Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so these things can help us all out of a jam here occasionally. Or into a jam, really is more the point. I think about all these things and they make perfect sense. I'm like, I'm going to try those. And then I go, no, I'm not. Not because I don't want to do the wrong thing. It's just too embarrassing to get caught at my age. But Rosemary and I took a trip down. Some friends went to this, like a Club Med. You ever done one of those all-inclusive Club Med vacations? Hated every second of it. I hated not having the choice. Like you're just, it's great. You're just at this place and you just go sit they just bring you great meals and it's dinner. And I just don't like feeling like I'm a sheep in a field of other sheep being led around. It was trapped. Weird. And so, but a buddy, it was a whole deal, but we got to go to this place, great deal, and they had scuba diving, and we were like, let's go. And some friends had already gone, and my cousin was one of those people who'd already been there, and he told me, he goes, hey, there's a code for employees to call back to the States. It was just in the Bahamas. It wasn't very far off the coast. He said, if you're in your room and you want to call anybody, you just hit star 66666 or whatever it was. And it's free phone calls. Now, at this time, I'm like, in my late 20s, always looking for a deal. And I said, oh, that's awesome. Great, thanks. We go to this place. I use that code. And then I'm checking out. And the guy goes, okay, I see. How'd you find this code? He's just looking at my phone records. I only made a few calls, but he busted me on it. And I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, how did you know this code? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I tried to play dumb, and he looks at me and goes, you're using the employee code from your room, and you made 4 phone calls, and blah, blah, blah. And so, I could have put them on my own calling card and paid peanuts, pennies on the dollar. But no, because they busted me, the guy goes, we're charging you the full rate of just dialing direct from your room. So I had like $300 in phone calls for 5 minutes of phone calls. I was so pissed. I called my cousin. I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, well, what'd you listen to me for? I said, well, yeah.
Should have just said one of the employees tipped me off to it. I don't know who they were.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I was so shocked to be busted. And I wasn't even 30 then. And I was like, okay, I got to stop this. I am far too old to get caught doing things like this.
Yeah.
So now, one time I'll try the Chick-fil-A thing. But then if it doesn't work, I'm never doing it again. Promise you that.
I hope they look at you and go, Gorman, didn't you just talk about this morning on the radio?
That's exactly right. Yeah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, big-ass movie star. He's got a new movie coming up called Red One. And there's a big story in GQ, or an interview where he is responding to reports that the movie went way over budget because he was late to set an awful lot. He's just kind of doing his own thing. He's like, that's not true. That's nonsense. And in fact, he went so far as to say, I save time on the set by peeing in bottles. I don't even leave. I don't even walk off set to go to the bathroom. I'll just stand there in between takes, and I'll say, hand me a bottle, and he just lets loose right there. So what that tells me is he is more than ready to be a delivery driver in the modern economy.
Amazon drivers are like, hold my,
Yeah, no kidding. Amazon drivers have been saying that for years. Oh, yeah, no. You always hear the thing about UPS drivers. They never take left turns. Remember that whole story?
Yeah.
And now Amazon drivers are like, oh, no, we just pee ourselves constantly. That's what we do. So next time you're ordering those toothbrushes you like so much because you don't want to go to Costco, just remember someone's taking a leak while driving in order to get those to you on schedule.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock. 92 KQRS.
Tuesday, November the 12th. Good morning. Let's take a moment to say good morning to Waconia, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Waconia.
Come on, Waconia. What you got out there? A little island off the shore there, and a little Coney Island out there in the middle of Lake Waconia? What's happening out there on Coney Island? These are the things I need to know.
I don't know.
It's peaceful. It's chill.
A 31-acre island, popular resort back in the day from the 1880s to the 1920s. I bet it was. Got to get out there. Every time I see it on the map, I'm like, I got to get out on that island. I got to see what's happening. Just haven't done it yet.
You want to swing by St. Bonnie Motorsports out there. Very near, just off Highway 7 by Lake Waconia. Get yourself one of those wave runners. That's the best way to see Lake Waconia.
Okay. All right. Good to know. I'm not going to do it anytime soon. It's mid-November.
We work
with chill in the air.
We'll be out there boat show this January. St. Bonnie Motorsports every year gives away some watercraft with KQ live at the boat show. We play some goofy game out there. So, hello to the gang at St. Bonnie Motorsports out by Lake Waconia.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Come on. Ohio State University has a new study out. And, this is why I don't trust a Buckeye ever. Here's a weird one, okay? They're looking at... in 7,000 case studies where they looked at mothers and their children, they found a really unexpected connection here, a connecting point. And that is the number of, as they quoted, the term they used, the number of romantic partners you've had is probably right around the same number your mom had.
No, I've lost a lot of respect for my mom.
Yeah, this is really weird. It says even if it's true, even if you don't know anything about her relationships, you most likely never witnessed, you weren't around for those relationships, of course. It just means if you've been dating and getting it on with a ton of other people, your mom has too.
Oh, mom, no slut.
Yeah, bear with me here. The researchers say probably because our mothers pass on relationship skills to us. That influences how we interact with everyone, including people in our dating life.
Wow.
Now, if the record is true, then I surpassed my mom the second time I ever had sex.
As far as you know.
As far as the stories we've heard. I mean, this is a woman who still claims 8 virgin births. So all I'm saying is, we know there was one guy we know of. But no, this is one of the more bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. They don't they're saying there's no connection between a father's number and his kid's number, but the mom's. I'm just trying to think of who do I know in my life that I think would probably go, yeah, that checks out. And I don't know anybody that would think, yeah, this makes sense.
Because everyone thinks they're higher?
Well, I think probably so. I mean,
all right, well, I set up the poll so we can find out. 651-989-ROCK. Higher, lower, or the same as your mom. Let's
go.
Hey, it's the subject that everyone wants to talk about.
Sure does.
We'll have to call Mom quick, just to compare notes. God, I hope it hasn't been the same person. Hope we don't have any overlap there.
It's sexy time.
I don't know.
It is sexy
My mom,
time.
she's a free spirit. Just saying.
That would be a strange one. I got to tell you, I don't know, man. You can draw a lot of lines in between, family connections, and I have no problem when people tell me that identical twins have the same thoughts. I'm like, sure, that makes sense. But the same number of lovers as your mom, just because you learn social skills from her, I say no.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to nitpick.
251 guys trying to set a record.
Wow. All right.
Hold on.
Did you get the record, or how close are you? I'm just.
Oh my God.
You're gonna have to check in with Guinness on that.
All right. Now you said lovers, but you started with romantic partners.
Well, I
see a difference.
That's what they're using. They say romantic partners.
So we're talking about sex, not love.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, if it's love, I still haven't caught Mom yet. I'm like probably one behind her. But if it comes to just straight out sex, getting it on, I'm sure I've just smoked my mom on that contest. I hope so. I mean, I don't even know how it's even close.
Yeah.
Probably on a good weekend.
I would shudder to think that that there wasn't just. I mean, how many times can you lapse somebody? I mean, it just is
right.
Boy. The answer is a lot.
Coming around again.
Turns out. Hey, and speaking of this, here's a little offshoot that I find another study that I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The sex toy company Adam and Eve says that in their research, 49% of Americans have had a threesome. To which I say, not
liars.
A chance.
No.
Yeah.
Wait. Can I count my computer?
And I'm sorry. We're talking 3 human beings.
1 dude and 2 fleshlights is not a threesome.
Okay. All right.
Doesn't mention the word inflatable anywhere.
No.
It does not. There's some inflated egos in this.
I'm too out of shape now. Someone would not get a turn if I tried to pull one of those off. And think of say it's the threesome that most guys want. I'm thinking would be 2 women, 1 guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's double the talking afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, at some point
unless they talk to each other.
Well, that's when I would say, like, you guys want a grilled cheese or something? I'll just keep going. I'll just go get us some snacks.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the right place at the right time, and to be honest with you, when it's 2 women and a guy, most of the time you're just watching. They got their own thing going on. You're like, yeah, I can do that if you wanted me to. You want me to take over? All right, got it. Tap out. Just give me a tap if you need me.
All right.
Tap out.
Tap
All right.
out.
Let me grab my phone here as well.
Good to know.
Enjoy this later. Yeah, that kind of thing. So.
I've never had the experience myself, and I don't really. Of all the the stories I've heard people tell, I only can think of a couple people I would believe that have said that may have actually had that happen.
Yeah.
Heard about it from several people where I'm like, dude, you haven't been with one person, much less 2 at a time. Stop. That's generally the stuff of lore, and those are fish and tales for the most part.
Yeah, it happens. But
yeah, sure.
You're right.
No,
I don't think it's the majority.
It certainly does. It's probably a better idea if need be, instead of trying to get out there and find the two perfect people to have that threesome with. No, fall in love. It's better for you. This study I do believe in. If you fall in love, there are 12 different parts of your brain that have been found to be working together. When your brain is that dialed in, and when you're falling in love with someone, you're not able to do much else other than think of that person, contemplate the next time you see that person.
Sounds horrible.
You're glowing in the perfection and wonder that is this person. Those early days. It's pretty incredible. Your brain releases a whole lot of chemicals, and the results are pretty much undeniable. Less anxiety. That's good for you. Lower blood pressure. Very good for you. A better immune system. When you are falling recently in love with someone, your immune system is stronger. You are much better at fighting off infections.
Yeah,
man.
I'm much more likely to believe in the threesome.
When you're falling in love, you have a higher pain threshold.
Yeah, well, you have to, don't you?
That's called setting the table is what that's called. And then finally, much milder allergic reactions. Things you may be allergic to, you will still react to them, but have a milder reaction if you are in love.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess I'll have to take their word for it.
Man,
I've had this terrible infection I've been fighting.
Yeah, this immune system thing, I'm kind of like worried because I'm like, wait, haven't I had COVID like 4 times?
Yeah,
oh, no.
But the fall, the fall is. I mean, because what do you think? Percentage of relationships where you fall that deeply in love that make it the long haul. What do you think? 80, 90%? 10?
If you're deep enough in love that like you can fight off infections and aren't allergic to things.
Yeah.
I'm staying with that person. Yeah.
Probably the 80 or 90.
Yeah. I'd have to think back long and hard and go, let me see. How soon into the relationship did I get that first sore throat?
Right.
That'll be the indicator. If you get past like a year and you don't even get a simple cold, then you're good. Just lock in. Bill Murray always said, if you want to know if your relationship's worth staying with, he goes, just book as long a trip as you can afford. Travel with somebody, and when you get home, if you don't hate them, then marry them. Like that's how you really find out who people are. Yeah. I think this is easier. Yeah. 6 months in, have you had a cold yet? No? All right, you're doing pretty good.
All right, okay.
All right, this is real love.
I'll stick with the flu shot.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever's going to keep you and your betrothed, your beloved happy.
All right.
Flu shots together. The couple that flu shots together, screw shots together? I don't know. There's got to be a T-shirt there somewhere.
Somewhere.
What does it mean? What does it mean if you're as they used to say in the Newlywed Game? What would it mean if you were making whoopee and you checked your phone? The average American checks their phone 5 times per episode while watching TV. Most people can't go 15 minutes before in anything before they want to check their phone. Movie theaters, people check the phones all the time now, despite all the things saying, turn your phone off, turn your phone off. Ever in the middle of relations, making love, making sweet, sweet love, ever check your phone?
I've only glanced at it once or twice to make sure that it wasn't, I didn't butt dial someone.
Right, sure.
Or it might be ringing, and you might glance at it.
Okay, curious.
If it's happening, I'm calling everybody.
Yeah, right. How do you turn on this Facebook Live deal here?
Yeah, you set up a Teams meeting, Zoom, and put it on speakerphone. Only for the stopwatch effect do I check the phone. Just want to see how long.
One more minute left. You got one more minute.
Yeah, you got what's life without goals set and reached? You know what I mean? You got to be striving for something. Fascinating.
There's an app for that.
Yeah, there's more than a few, I'm afraid. Hey, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra are bringing their holiday hits on tour, and you could see them in the city of your choice. Phoenix, Tampa, Nashville, Atlanta. It's up to you. One winner will score 2 premium tickets to the TSO concert, again, of their choice, plus round-trip airfare, a 3-night hotel stay, plus a $1,000 gift card. Great Scott.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Text the national keyword concert to 95819 for a chance to win. Concert 95819. And the top 5 at 9 is next. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
If you're looking for a job in these challenging times that lets you be you, then consider working as a driver for Amazon. As you know, their company slogan is work hard, have fun, make history. Well, now that slogan has changed, and they're encouraging their drivers to work even harder, no matter what it takes. Their new slogan reflects that. Now it's work hard, have fun, go ahead and pee into a bottle if you have to go while you're driving on your route, and make history. Apply now. Oh, I don't remember asking for a soda, but thank you, driver. I'm parched.
Mellow yellow.
Lemony. Amazon. They're all about number 1. Let's all be thankful that they're not about number 2. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday, November 12th, and as we speak, Amazon drivers are just circling the building. They're everywhere. Wherever you are, there's an Amazon driver circling around right now trying to figure out, do I pee in the Gatorade bottle or do I wait until lunch? And they're not waiting. No. Make no mistake about it. Your top 5 at 9. Let's get right into it. Not only is Amazon, a company full of people driving around taking leaks, they are developing new smart eyeglasses solely for their delivery drivers. These glasses will guide them to. It will guide them around and even within buildings as it is trying to get that final stretch of an order's journey to the customer's home. If successful, these glasses, check this out, they're going to give drivers turn-by-turn navigation on a small embedded screen along their routes and at each stop. And Amazon is saying this shaves seconds off each delivery. Seconds add up to minutes, which add up to hours, which adds up to more money for Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Time for the drivers to take a bathroom break?
Don't have time for that. No.
I mean, this is encouraging news, isn't it? I don't want to have to wait for my, puppy chow. I want it now. I think this is encouraging news because the drivers are in the mix. I just assumed they were working on a robotic driver, autonomous delivery.
Oh, sure.
The fact that they're taking this little detour right here to keep them in the mix surprises me. It really does.
Amazon has a thing called the last mile. They talk about that in deliveries. The final mile of a trip is costly and it's more complicated because that means, that last mile is when you're actually navigating neighborhoods, not just highways or major roads. You've got more couriers, you're using more fuel, starting and stopping. And so they have an estimate that says about half the cost of a product's trip lies in the last mile. You may order something that's coming from a warehouse in Oregon, and by the time it gets here, half the money spent to get it to you is in that final mile. So now Amazon is focusing its attention with these glasses in what they call the last 100 yards. Holy smokes, they got a new scanner that helps drivers direct packages they're going bat crap crazy trying to help out things. No thought to, well, how could this help everybody on Earth? No, we're just going to help Amazon. By the way, those Amazon trucks you see now, those giant vans, who makes those? Does Amazon make their own vehicles now?
They're kind of cool looking with the lights on the back.
Yeah, they're kind of freaky. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, did they just buy some fledgling car company and call it Amazon Trucks and rebuild it? That's fascinating to me. But anyway, we'll keep you up to date. We'll let you know. But sooner or later, you're going to look out and see an Amazon coming to you, and he's going to be looking at something. He's going to be wearing these Buddy Holly looking glasses.
Yeah.
And he's going to know your middle name and the last 4 of your social, and then it's just going to be all over but the shouting.
He already does, man.
That's true. Who am I kidding? Speaking of Amazon and the fact that those drivers love to pee to save time in bottles, number 4 in your top 5 at 9, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, also a bottle peer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was talking. He gave an interview in GQ, and he talked about the fact that it had been rumored that when he's on the set on one of his many, 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 many films, none of which I've ever seen, that he pees in bottles to save time. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I do that. That happens." And part of the reason this even came up was he was downplaying reports that his tardiness and his showing up on the set late of his newest film is what drove that thing way over budget.
Wow.
That head doesn't wax itself. Yeah.
Tina Fey said all the male writers on SNL would do that. They'd have a collection of jars and bottles in their office on the shelves.
You don't want to get up and walk down to the bathroom. You're in the middle of you've seen SNL. It's comic genius. Week in and week out.
Yeah. Or comedy writers,
Those guys could use some pee breaks. Let me tell you. I watched last week's. I was just watching going, any laugh ever? Maybe one? Just make me laugh once?
The Bill Burr bald man skit wasn't bad. They had the song about the bald man, bald is sexy or whatever.
Yeah, I guess I just wasn't in a good mood.
It's one of those. I'm wondering why. I get comedy writers. They're even lower than DJs on the totem pole. I get why they're peeing in bottles, but why is The Rock peeing in bottles? Why isn't an intern cupping their hands and his...
Well, that could very well still be happening. I don't think he's holding on to I think someone's bringing that bottle to him.
Yeah. Sell it.
Yeah, no question about it. I was in one work situation in a studio where the drums were in a little ISO room, and it was really difficult to just get back to the throne, which is what you call a drummer seat. I hate that word, but you got to use it. The throne. I'm going to my drummer's throne, the thing that gives you hemorrhoids if you sit on it for too long. It's not exactly my kind of throne. We were in the studio, we were making a record, and I'd go back in there, and I had to climb over and move stuff, and I'd get in my seat, and then it was just really tight quarters. And so I got tired of having to get up and go to the bathroom. So I brought in some empty Gatorade bottles, and I would just save everyone time, because you're in the middle of 3-4 takes. Someone's got to tune a guitar really quick. You don't want to go, hang on, let me kill the mood by climbing out of this hole of drums and go pee, and I'll come back in 4 minutes. Yeah. So, long story short, I was taking full advantage of some Gatorade bottles and some Snapple tea bottles, whatever we had in the studio. And then I made one mistake, which was I forgot to take them out with me one night when I left.
That's what I was going to ask you.
And there's just the poor little studio lackey who's up there cleaning, and he's traumatized because he's never seen pee-pee, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry. You didn't grow up in a house with 5 older brothers? Get over yourself.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in the country, but all this fuss about peeing. I mean, I've peed in the KQ parking lot probably 20 times.
Yeah, sure.
Just because I didn't want to walk back in. I'm like, I'm here. There's nobody around.
I trust me, Chauncey does it every day.
Yeah? Chauncey and I Steve puts the leash on me. We go out for a walk. I have a nice pee.
It's funny because you always know right where Chauncey peed, and you go mark it, right? You always have to go right over where he peed. That's so weird.
No one knows like the nose knows.
That's very true. The Mayo Clinic, number 3 on your top 5 at 9. Holy smokes, the Mayo Clinic has just, in early October, for the 15th time in Rochester, their 15th triple organ transplant. A local man by the name of Mike Lovin, not McLovin, Mike Lovin, was given, a new kidney, a new heart, and a new set of lungs in one lengthy procedure. Holy smokes. I can't. I mean, I've had one true surgery. I had a muscle tear, a bicep muscle torn, and they had to repair it. And that just did me in. I mean, it was outpatient. I mean, I was out that day. I went in that morning. They doped me up. They operated on my arm, and they sent me home. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, I don't think I could handle much more than this. And I'm hearing this guy. He's got new kidney, new heart, and new lungs. And,
wow.
To him, dude, way to hang in there. And to the doctors and the kind of people who make these things possible, sometimes you got to sit back and just wonder in awe how any of this happens. And realizing that for the millennia upon millennia of the human experience on this planet, just about everything we do as outpatient surgery now, 300 years ago would have killed us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I didn't have the use of my right arm back in the day for a torn bicep, it's like suddenly it's like, well, you better figure out how to use that left arm for that sword, or you got problems.
Would have shot me.
Right.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, a little bit here from Mr. Lovin and his wife.
I think I'm still trying to grasp that. Like everyone I tell, all the doctors and RNs that don't know what I went through, their jaw drops and they can't believe it.
Mike now has a new kidney, heart, and lungs, all from the same donor.
We were very blessed that one person gave this gift to him.
I miss my girls. Can't wait to get home to see my girls.
Can't wait to get home to see his girls. Boy, those girls are going to be on some strict orders. You have to wear your quiet shoes and use your quiet voice.
Yeah,
man.
Oh, yeah. If I was him, I'd milk it, I'd milk it. I mean, I'm sure he can for a while anyway, or he would need to. But you talk about the torn bicep. Yeah, I've had some minor surgeries, but boy, a week later, you're still going, well, I can't make myself a grilled cheese. I had surgery a week ago.
I learned how to make a scotch and water after my dad's back surgery. True story. Yeah, I was like 12. Yeah. And it became apparent that we all had to learn some new life skills. One of which was keep the Cuddy Sark flowing, or whatever the hell he was drinking. My dad did not drink, and then he got back surgery, and he was in a hospital bed in his room for a while, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, he drinks. He just hasn't for a long time. But now, yes. You need, how many drops of water did you put in here? I'm like, sorry, just drink it, dude. I'm 12. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. The NFL is looking to expand their international reach 8 games next season, which will be the most ever. There will be a game in Madrid, Spain. There will be one, at least in Germany, a few in London. The NFL says they're going back to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sorry, Jordan Love. Mexico City will have a game, and now possibly Ireland. And before you roll your eyes too much at whatever, boy, I could stand the idea of going to Dublin for an NFL game.
I can't afford to go one in downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah, well, but, I'm just assuming maybe you know somebody. Just get to work on it. We'll figure out a way in.
They take foreign exchange DJs in Dublin.
There's got to be something. I'm just saying, if I were going to go, I have no interest in seeing an NFL game in another country until then. I'm like, oh, but that would be fun in Ireland.
Yeah, I think
so. The Irish have a healthy respect for people just beating the snot out of each other. And I say that as an Irishman. It's okay. It's okay. I can say that. You can't. Morning shout-out time. Let's talk about the good people in Minnetonka.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Minnetonka. Glad to have you with us.
Truck.
Oh, man.
So many good places to hang out. Jimmy's is my new favorite because Cody, ask for Cody. When you go to Jimmy's Kitchen and Bar over there in Minnetonka, ask for Cody. Hell of a server and very clean fingernails.
Noted.
Glad to know.
Fair
enough. Minnetonka, of course, the lake famously known as Gitchagumi. No, I'm sorry. I'm being told that's not true. I apologize. Can you imagine if the Edmund Fitzgerald had been out on Lake Minnetonka? Probably would have been a different ending. That's all I'm saying.
Just got hung up on Big Island and partied.
You guys took the wrong lake. That's all I'm saying. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9 today, shockingly enough to all of us here, is National Happy Hour Day. National Happy Hour Day. Get out, have a happy hour. The key is to keep it to an hour, maybe 2. Don't turn your happy hour into a happy evening, and whatever you do, make sure you don't turn it into a happy night.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't wake up happy the next day, trust me.
Oh, you haven't had a happy hour till you've been making out with an employee in the parking lot at like 10:30 at night, and someone always sees you, for crying out loud.
The accidental after work happy hour drunk. Man, I can't imagine anything worse.
You do get some looks, though, because in our industry, we get done at 10. You go out for a hat, and I'll joke, I'm just going to have a little happy hour on a Tuesday morning, and you'll get a look. I'm like, what, man? I was up at 3. If you do the math, I can drink now. It's okay. I don't have a problem.
Well, if there's one day you're going to go out and make the most of your happy hour and you won't be judged for it, it is today, National Happy Hour Day. Happy hour to all of us. Isn't that nice?
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.